The Father and the Broken Watch. It was a cold winter evening. The sky was gray, and the wind blew softly through the small town. In a quiet street, a man named Mark walked home from work. He was tired, but there was a small smile on his face. In his hand, he held a small box. Inside the box was something very special, an old watch. It was not just any watch. It was his father's watch, old, silver, and broken. Mark's father, Mr. Thompson, had been a kind man. He worked as a carpenter all his life. He didn't have much money, but he always had time for his son. When Mark was a little boy, he loved to sit in his father's workshop, listening to the sound of the ticking watch. Tick, tick, tick. It was like music to him. But years passed. Mark grew up, moved to the city, got busy, and didn't visit home very often. One day, Mark received a phone call. It was from a neighbor in his hometown. "Mark," the woman said softly, "I'm sorry. Your father passed away last night." The world suddenly felt quiet. Mark didn't know what to say. When he came home for the funeral, he found his father's old watch lying on the table. The glass cracked, the hands stopped. He picked it up and held it close. "Dad," he whispered. Now, months later, Mark still carried the broken watch with him. He wanted to fix it, but he never found the time. Work, meetings, phone calls, everything else seemed more important. That night, when he got home, he put the box on the table and sat down. The house was quiet. The lights were warm, but something felt missing. He opened the box and looked at the watch again. It was scratched and old, but it reminded him of his father's face, gentle, smiling, full of love. Suddenly, there was a soft knock at the door. "Dad!" a small voice called. It was Lucas, Mark's 8-year-old son. "Hey, buddy," Mark said. "You're still awake?" Lucas walked in, holding a drawing in his hand. "I made this at school," he said proudly. "It's a picture of us." Mark smiled. The picture showed 2 people holding hands, one tall, one small, with a big sun in the sky. "It's beautiful," Mark said. "Thank you." Lucas looked at the table. "What's that, Dad?" Mark picked up the watch. "This? It was your grandpa's watch. It's very old." Lucas's eyes grew wide. "Does it still work?" Mark shook his head. "No, it's broken." The boy thought for a moment, then said, "Maybe we can fix it together." Mark laughed softly. "Maybe we can." The next morning, Mark and Lucas went to a small repair shop at the end of the street. An old man sat behind the counter, wearing glasses and a big smile. "Good morning," Mark said. "Can you fix this watch?" The man took the watch carefully in his hands. He looked at it for a long time. "This watch," he said slowly, "has a lot of history. You can see it in the scratches." Mark nodded quietly. "It belonged to my father." The man smiled. Then it must be special. Don't worry, I'll take good care of it. A few days later, the watch was ready. When Mark picked it up, it looked almost new. The silver was clean, the glass clear. He wound it gently, and suddenly, tick, tick, tick. The sound filled the room, soft and steady. Mark closed his eyes. For a moment, it felt like his father was there again, sitting beside him, smiling, listening to the same old sound. He thanked the man and went home. That evening, Mark showed the watch to Lucas. "It works again!" the boy shouted. "Can I listen?" Mark held the watch to Lucas's ear. The boy smiled. "It sounds like a little heart." "Yes," Mark said softly, "it does." He sat down and told Lucas stories about his father, how he built wooden toys, how he told jokes, how he loved the sound of the ticking watch. Lucas listened carefully. "I wish I could have met him." Mark smiled gently. He would have loved you very much. That night, after Lucas went to bed, Mark sat alone in the living room. The watch lay on the table, ticking quietly. He thought about all the times he was too busy to visit, too busy to call, too busy to say, "I love you." He whispered to the empty room, "I'm sorry, Dad." Then he smiled softly and added, "Thank you for waiting." He looked at the watch again. The hands moved slowly but beautifully, just like life. From that day, Mark wore the watch every day. It was more than just a timepiece. It was a reminder that time is precious and love is never lost, only passed on. Message of the story. The Father and the Broken Watch reminds us that time moves forward, but love stays. No matter how far we go or how busy we become, the memories of those who loved us continue to tick, softly, like the sound of a watch that never really stops.